Okay, everyone. Hello. How are you? Can you hear me? Can you all hear me? Okay. Okay. Oop. There we go. Okay. And face and 3 and 2 and 1. Okay, hello everybody. Let's see. Okay, we got everything up. That's good. Oh my gosh, where's my mouse? I lost my mouse. I lost my mouse cursor for some reason. This is the funniest glitch. Okay, hold on. I literally lost my mouse cursor. This is kind of bizarre. Ah! What is going on with my mouse? Okay, my friends. One moment. I am having some serious problems. I might have to restart the stream all over again because there's something seriously wrong with my computer right now. Okay, my friends. Can you hold tight, please? We got a little problem going on here. I can't even like restart the computer. Ah! Okay, hold on, my friends. Oh, maybe it needs a new mouse. That's so funny. This has been one problem after the next with this live stream. I'm glad it's casual. Okay, hold on, everyone. Okay. Silly. Okay. We are good to go. That was a little annoying. Hello, everybody. We are all set and ready to go. My name is Jan Erickson. We are having a casual live stream tonight, a casual Hyperion chit chat with various Hyperion questions. Now, the questions I'm going to be answering is for patrons. So if you would like to become a patron of mine, please go to http www.com patreon.com/Jan Erickson official. I had this all set up earlier. So we got some interesting topics for tonight. Firstly, if you notice, I have an article up on the screen already. This is current news about Britney Spears and her latest update about her conservatorship, which finally her conservatorship has ended. Finally, the conservatorship of Britney Spears has ended. And this is super important for me to bring up because the very first Britney Spears episode, let me back up. The very first Monday Monad episode I ever made was about Britney Spears and her conservatorship. Because the conservatorship that Britney Spears is under was just so questionable to me. It was so odd. And in the very beginning of it, when I made the first episode about Britney Spears, there was not very much information. There was just a lot of allegations. There was a lot of, just a lot of make-believe stuff in that. We didn't really know what was going on. But what everybody suspected kind of ended up happening, which is the strange phenomena of it all. There was a amount of Britney Spears fans that brought into light that perhaps her conservatorship was not as beneficial to her as the public would think it is. And it turned out to be right. 100%. So I wanted to just kind of like pull up this article a little bit. But before we get into it, please allow me to say hello to you all. I apologize for the earlier hang up with the live stream link. For some strange reason, my internet decided to time out. Ooh, let me catch my breath. So yes, tonight is casual Hyperion chit chat. For those of you who do not know who I am, my name is Jan Erickson. This is Monday Monad. This is a Hyperion channel. So, hello Derek. Nice to see you. Hello, Eve. Thank you so much for coming. Hello, John. I hope you are doing okay with your struggles and everything. Thinking about you. Hello, Epsilon Blue Monad. Hello, hello. Eve, again. Hello. I don't know why the, Oh, there we go. There's the chat. There's the chat. Hello, J.S. Clay. Monday Monad. I know, Monday. But that's cool, right? Monday Monad on a Friday. Friday night, Monday Monad. Chit chat. Does everyone have any special treats? Does anybody have any special snacks? You got any special drinks going on? I got a, what is this? A Wexford Irish style cream ale. Nitro style. Very good. So how many of you are fans of Britney Spears? Be honest. You can say you're not. Renaissance Fairy says it's been a long week for me. It's been a long week for me too. Epsilon Blue Monad is drinking chamomile lemon tea. That sounds a little delicious. How many likes are we at right now for this random old trait? 11 likes, but we got 15 viewers. If you have not liked the video yet, please like the video. Oh, thank you for the update, John. I appreciate that. It's good to hear that you're hanging in there. Oh, JS Clay says, I was a fan of Britney Spears in middle school, but no longer. Renaissance Fairy says, she's okay? Oh, hey. Epsilon Blue Monad has a scented candle going. What kind of scent? You know, first of all, I want to start off saying I'm ashamed to say, but you know, because it's shadow season, that's kind of like weird to start off with. So should I be ashamed? No. In my spare time, I do genuinely like to keep up with, not particularly celebrity gossip, but just kind of like gossipy material in general. So I do tend to dive into like especially YouTuber drama. Ooh, Katrina has a white Russian. What is that? Is that milky? I don't do well with that. It's like Irish car bombs. Very delicious, but I can't really digest that. Yeah. Okay, so Zach Funk says, she is a great performer, but I find that her ideas are very mainstream. Therefore, I don't really dig into her work. Her ideas are very filtered through the team and the people that put on the main production. So I totally see what you see, Zach, totally 100%. But keep in mind that Britney Spears also has not really been giving the liberty or the freedom to truly explore her art, I feel like, to the full extent that she would want to. And at this point with the whole 14 year conservatorship, I kind of feel like, in a way, it's been ruined, which makes me really sad. I don't think she sincerely, and this is just me and my pure opinion and observation, I don't think she wants to perform anymore. I don't think she wants to make any music. If I had to put a finger on it, I think she wants to simply have children, get married, and be a mother, and I could foresee her put a lot of time and effort into organizations and things that would help other people get out of the hell they're in. Like, I could definitely see her putting together an organization to help other people in abusive conservatorships get out. So it's kind of sad. I I see what people mean. Like, there's a lot of her songs that seem very capped, but at the same time, I think that's kind of like she genuinely was limited. John's drinking coffee. Coffee, like my girlfriend's heart, dark and void of anything sweet. John's on the dark side. John is on the dark side. So, I mean, I think the reason why I originally started talking about Britney Spears, or why that was kind of like the tipping off point for me to start Monday Monad, is because it just kind of, and keep in mind there was so much going on at the time. By all means, I want to make it very clear that Britney Spears is not the number one pinnacle of, or the number one example of the patriarchy enslaving people or keeping people down. Absolutely not. It just stuck out to me at the moment as something that really represented the toxic relationship and the terrible relationship between the collective of humanity and certain individuals in the limelight. If that makes sense. So let's see. I'm looking at just some basic I got the New York Times up. Britney Spears live updates. Judge ends conservatorship. Yes. Judge Brenda Penny ruled that the conservatorship of the person and estate of Britney Jane Spears is no longer required. Because that's the thing about a conservatorship. A conservatorship really has to be necessary and fucking vital for somebody's well-being, for somebody to get along in the world, to live, to all that stuff. So the conservatorship of Britney Spears is well beyond required. Well beyond required. I mean, we're talking like, this conservatorship hasn't been required for a decade. Oh, really? Yeah, this has been overseeing her finances and everything. Judge terminates Britney Spears' conservatorship. Hallelujah. A Los Angeles judge ruled Friday that the conservatorship that is overseeing Britney Spears' life and finances for nearly 14 years, holy baloney, should be terminated immediately. Yes, thank you, immediately. Thank you, Judge Brenda. The ruling by Judge Brenda Penny of Los Angeles Superior Court ended an arrangement that Miss Spears had complained of bitterly, and which her father fans had rallied against. Wait, let me reread that over again. Ended an arrangement that Miss Spears had complained of bitterly. Yeah, and which her fans had rallied against. Yes. In June, Miss Spears, 39, told the court that the arrangement, which stripped her of control of nearly every aspect of her life, had traumatized and exploited her, and asked for it to end without her having to undergo additional mental evaluation. See, that was the stipulations in the beginning of the whole ordeal with her. The idea was that if she was to end the conservatorship, then she would have to undergo a lot of evaluations, like heavy fucking hardcore evaluations by psychiatrists to like really determine if you're crazy or not. And considering that all parties involved so far in Mrs. Spears' conservatorship is very biased, I mean, we're talking sad, scary things like, she was literally forced to take medication that she did not really know of or was aware of. No joke. Her security team would be instructed to hand her an envelope, and the envelope contained medication, and she had to take that medication on the spot under observation immediately without any question. And if she was to resist taking that medication, then she would have to have psychiatry appointments in which the psychiatrist would work with her in her being, uncooperative and things like that. It's super insane. Honestly, like, reading about the whole details of what they had to put into keeping her under control, it's insanity. And it's sheer slavery. And not just slavery, pure torture of a human being, like, right before our eyes. Like, I honestly can't even believe it. And I didn't even want to believe it. The things that I looked up and saw and heard about Britney Spears, it wasn't just allegations. It was real. Like, they literally forcibly drugged her and kept her drugged and complacent to the whole situation. Do we want, as Hyperians, do we want that kind of future for our most brilliant and talented artist? Because perhaps you're not into pop music and all that things in the genre per se, but Britney Spears has amazing talent in dance and songwriting and singing. J.S. Clay says, how is keeping someone drugged against their will legal anyways? Well, it's legal when they're under a conservatorship and all of the professionals, quote unquote, involved with the conservatorship and all of the guardians, if they all decide that the client needs to be on a certain medication, and if they decide that even though the client resists such medication, it is in their best interest to take the medication anyways, and yes, they can force the client to take the medication. And yes, Eve, she may have been manipulated into thinking she had no other choice. She absolutely was manipulated into thinking she had no choice. That conservatorship was way overexploited to the point where she genuinely didn't know what rights she had. And it wasn't until the Britney Spears Free Britney movement where fans, diehard concerned fans, kind of questioned, poked, and prodded. That's when it started coming out. Like, is this actually beneficial for her anymore? And it's not. It's not. She didn't have any choice. This really is kind of a frightening thing. What frightens me most is just how easy it is to put somebody in this situation. And I'm thinking of not only Britney Spears, but multiple other people that are caught and cornered into conservatorships that have no voice, that don't even have a fan base to reach out and try to knock on the other side of the wall and break the glass on the other side down in order to get them free. So this is very concerning. And in the Hyperion New Terra, I mean, this is something that we're so vehemently against. The conservatorships are useful. when they are applied appropriately. But in this case, it was not applied appropriately. It was applied with a lot of capitalism in mind, and a lot of greed in mind, and a lot of control in mind in order to utilize her and turn her into a cash cow. She is an iconic woman, and she is easily exploited. So, anyways. So, today, finally, the judge agreed that the conservatorship of the person and the estate of Britney Jean Spears is no longer required. Judge Penny found that there was no need for a capacity declaration of Miss Spears. Nothing that it had been voluntary. Yeah, nothing of this has been really voluntary. At first, yes, but not at this point. The judge said that Miss Spears' current estate conservator would continue working to settle ongoing financial concerns related to the case. John Zabel, the certified public accountant who took over the estate in September, would retain power to execute estate planning and transfer outside assets into an existing trust for Miss Spears. You know, I gotta say, I don't think this is the end of the era of lawsuits over Miss Spears. I think this is honestly just the beginning. I think if I was to put out my own opinion, I think this is just the beginning of the lawsuits, and Britney Spears and her attorneys are gonna rain forward like hell hath no fury, like a woman scorned. Like, it's gonna be full-on Darth Sidious lightning hands on everybody, just gzzzt, gzzzt, gzzzt. And I think Britney Spears is gonna bring forth a woman fury that we honestly need in this world sometimes. Conservatorships should be implemented when the client is sincerely unable to take care of themselves. And so much has to be put into determining that somebody genuinely can't take care of themselves. And another thing, there were so many incidences within Britney Spears' conservatorship where they illegally recorded her private conversations. In California, we have the two-party consent system, which means that it's absolutely 100% fucking illegal to do a voice recording or any kind of recording of somebody without their knowledge. And they absolutely, this conservator team, this team that was supposedly in her best interest, they recorded and observed and monitored all of her phone conversations with her children, her boyfriend, all of her interaction on the internet, everything, to such a degree that just honestly wasn't necessary. Let's see. The conservatorship has dominated the singer's life for more than 14 years. It began in 2008 when James P. Spears, Mrs. Spears' father, who is known as Jamie, first petitioned the court for authority over his adult daughter's life and finances, citing her very public mental health struggles and possible substance abuse. This is bullcrap. Okay, I just want to say the quote-unquote substance abuse is, we're talking about stuff that's like smoking marijuana. I mean, I've got it in this pen right here in my hand, and it makes me so mad because it's something to me that's like a cup of tea. And she even mentioned in her, I think, like a court appeal at some point, like, Miley Cyrus was filmed smoking weed backstage, and it was at a time in society where that was, like, widely more acceptable. But at Britney Spears' time, that was just before, like, the Instagram era, the online social media era. The only time that we would actually get insight into Britney Spears was through magazines, through the tabloids, everything that was just absolutely awful and warped and construed in such a way to make her look like an absolute freak drug addict. And we believed it. We all believed it. We all did. We all fell for it. That whole notorious scene where a decade ago, Britney Spears was shown driving a car with her very small baby in her lap without a seatbelt or something, and tried to frame it in such a way where she was essentially a neglectful mother and just very aloof and just kind of like, oh, I don't know, let me just put my baby in my lap and go for a drive. Bullcrap. That wasn't the case at all. She was harassed, harangued, and pushed to essentially escape to her car in a panic with her child and get the hell out of there as fast as she could. But because she was driving away and trying to get away from everybody, they snapped just enough shots of her to make it look like she was some crazy mom on drugs. Oh, I'm just going to put my child in my lap and no regard for any safety or anything. Bullcrap. She was framed. Straight up, without a doubt. Britney Spears was full on framed. Very concerning. Since then, the conservatorship has entered into professional contracts on behalf of the pop star, dictated her travel, and logged her every purchase down to a drink from Starbucks. Yeah, they monitored her spending and everything. Those people treated her like a cash cow. And if she wanted a pair of tennis shoes, if she wanted a freaking cupcake, if she wanted a coffee from Starbucks, she had to ask for it. A grown woman had to ask for, like, a cup of coffee. So it wasn't like Britney Spears was under the conservatorship and she was treated well and fairly, and she's just simply, like, rallying against the masses for no reason. They genuinely had her under such strict control. She had to ask for a cup of coffee or a meal or a treat, or she was like, hey, I want sushi, and her manager's like, no, you can't have sushi. You had that last week. Like, who cares? Like, who cares? Have sushi again. Have sushi 5 times in the week. Who gives a shit? What? Oh. John says, I need to know when it got dark on the West Coast? I don't understand. I mean, the time changed for everybody recently, so it's dark all around. Yeah, so continuing down here a little bit, in her comments, Britney Spears, in the past hearing in June, she said that she did not know that she could file to end the arrangement altogether. She was kept in the dark purposefully by the people who were supposed to be looking out for her best interest. And she has not spoken out about this conservatorship throughout this whole decade because she genuinely didn't know, and she was not educated properly about her actual rights. Which is so concerning to me, that they would keep her in that conservatorship, they would keep her in the dark, and she would not even know that she had the right to speak out and be like, hey, I don't want to be in this anymore. Oh my god. Yeah, so here's the thing you guys have to understand too, because her father was in charge of her money. Her father and Britney Spears are in this legal battle against each other, right? However, Britney Spears' father, at the time, no longer at this point, but before, Britney Spears' father, so Dad Spears, was still in charge of her finances. So he would be using her finances in order to fight the legal battle in order for her to gain freedom. Do you see what I mean? So not only is Britney Spears paying for her side of the legal battle, she was paying for her father's side of the legal battle too. This is where I think the legal problems, I am not a legal expert by any means. I don't think this is going to end because I feel like she's going to come back like a banshee out of hell for all this money that was wasted on her father, like defending himself against her, pretty much saying, I'm fine. Like, I'm fine. There's no need for this conservatorship. So originally they wanted Britney Spears to undergo a psychiatric evaluation before she exited the conservatorship, but the judge is saying no, you don't have to do that. And honestly, raise the roof to that judge, because that would have been absolutely ridiculous to require Britney Spears to undergo a series of just really demeaning psychiatric evaluations to just prove that, you know, she isn't insane and stuff. Because I'll tell you what, the people involved in keeping her in her conservatorship did a really good job about making her look crazy. But if you're one who doesn't know how to see red flags or kind of just like catch on to some things, yeah, it does look very much like Britney Spears should be remaining into the conservatorship. But if you just kind of push past the reeds, you'll see that there's some really shady business going on, and she really is being treated like a cash cow. So we are just coming to the end of talking about Britney Spears. We are going to move on to our next subject. You guys have an option, because this is a casual conversation. I think I want to end this Britney Spears. I think we kind of get this, so I'm going to close this article, but I just want to bring up, let's see, I think it's like Britney Spears's, I wanted to pull up the actual thing from Britney Spears. Her Twitter. Britney Spears says, as of 3 hours ago, good God, I love my fans so much. It's crazy. I think I'm gonna cry the rest of the day. Best day ever. Praise the Lord. Can I get an amen? Amen. We're Hyperion, and we're definitely not people who pray to God and say amen, but honestly, fuck. Amen. I will give Britney an amen for being free. Like, she deserves it. I don't care. Like, this is just absolutely phenomenal. And I love that I'm going live tonight to kind of casually discuss things. And it just so happens that Britney Spears became totally free today. So the next topic I would like to discuss is there's a couple of questions that was asked in my Discord server. One, we can either talk about dealing with family as a Hyperion, or we can look into some other current events as well. I know there's the Travis Scott incident we can talk about. Yeah, I've had a lot of Hyperions recently ask me to talk about dealing with family who are not Hyperion, because we are pretty much knee deep into the holiday season. And that always brings up, what do we do about the family as Hyperions? What do we do about the family during this time of year? So I want you guys to let me know what you would like to discuss next. No, I mean, like, I appreciate that you guys want it to be up to me, but I can talk about anything under the sun. So I want to be here and talk about what you guys want to talk about. Cats in Egypt. I don't know about that. By the way, I just sewed this megalop. You guys see this big giant loppy lump? This guy is ready to go to the first person to send me the adoption fee. He's a big snowball lump. Very cool. So who has recently started thinking about family and holidays and doing the family thing and dealing with the people and the consumerist time of year? John asks, how did they build the pyramids? I think I would have to sit down and think about what I would want to say about the pyramids before I just kind of throw shit out there. If I was to throw anything out there, I want to say that I like Egyptian pyramid stuff. I actually have real Egyptian mummy beads from like a real dead mummy. Oh, defunding the police is a whole different subject. Very good, though. So let's, I'm gonna run to the bathroom. You guys go ahead and ask me some questions and stuff, and we'll come right back. Okay. Alright, I'm back. I apologize for the time lapse. I was just taking a bathroom break. So, we are in the midst of shadow season. And with that comes the overlap of the holiday season. And some of us Hyperians have parents or family that are religious per se, or still oriented in more of the old traditions, such as capitalistic traditions or religious traditions. Hello, Eve. Hello, Rabbit Snowflake. Hello, Epsilon Blue Monad. Hello, John. Hello, Zach. Hello, Bree. Bree, nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining. Hello, everybody. We are just starting to talk about shadow season and how to deal with family. So if anybody has specific questions about that, let's talk about this. Let's talk about dealing with family during the holidays. Oh, Eve. So Eve asks, I wanted to ask what would be your advice on how to deal with with an alcoholic father, a verbally abusive father. Okay. Eve, you say this sentence, I need to work on my mirror self with him. Ultimately, your self-actualization is supposed to be in your own hands. I want you to decide things for yourself, but consider the sentence you just wrote there just now. I need to work on my mirror self with him. Consider that you don't need to work on your mirror self with him. Consider that you need to work on your mirror self with you. Does that make sense? I would hate and I would feel really sad if you were in this world where you felt like the key to your mirror self was or is getting a certain reaction or a certain set of behaviors out of somebody else in your life. Let's see. Yeah, so Eve, you say you have to walk by his ass and hear his comments every day. Here's the thing about dealing with family that bothers you. It's so hard to create boundaries. And boundaries aren't necessarily a set of rules and guidelines for other people to behave around you. Boundaries are often kind limitations to yourself. They are an act of love. It's a relief. A boundary is, my father's gonna say this fucked up shit. I'm not going to be bothered by that because it's not my responsibility to make sure my father says kind and nurturing things. I'm not going to tolerate being treated poorly. I'm not going to tolerate being directly mistreated, but if he's on his own path and doesn't want to listen to reason, then I'm going to set the boundary for myself to relieve myself of the stress of being the main receptor of his negativity or his terrible irrational ideas. So I hope that makes sense. In forms of creating boundaries don't necessarily have to be a set of rules for other people to act around you, but rather just kind of acts of love towards yourself. The most important thing that I would have advice for somebody dealing with difficult people, difficult family members in their life is always be the person who is kind to you. Always be kind to yourself. If you are in a toxic family, around a toxic family member, around a toxic person in your life, and you have to be in the same environment with them this year, you are the one that needs to be kind to yourself. And that's where the shadow work and the mirror work is if that toxic family member or the toxic family or something says something or does something that triggers you and makes you upset. Ugh. What they said just made me so upset. The shadows and the mirror and the triggers and all those things are with you in your own world, and you need to take that and own that and take it somewhere else and work on that. The other person, the toxic person in your family, is not the key to your self-actualization. You will never please them. You will never be the perfect person for them. You will never perfectly convince them to think the way that you do. It's definitely worth a try. There's some family members it's definitely worth a try, but I'm talking about a certain scenario where this is a very, very problematic family member. Very problematic. The boundaries are an act of love, and be kind to yourself and set that boundary and realize that they're not going to get to you in that way. So I hope that makes sense. And I love seeing those unicorns. I love seeing the unicorns. And this is a good conversation. And this is very important stuff to talk about, especially as we are entering the holiday season. Is there any other questions that people have about this kind of stuff? I would love to know. Because if there's one thing I know, it's being in or experiencing a large, loud, very opinionated family. I use terms like was because you have to keep in mind that currently I have gone no contact with my family, with my original family that I grew up with. I have gone no contact with them. So I don't speak to them anymore. So I sort of refer to them in the past tense. So with that in mind, I was the youngest of 5 children, and they were mostly boys. There was 3 boys, 1 girl, and only one non-binary child, which was me. And I grew up in a very religious family, a particularly LDS, Latter-day Saints, a Mormon family. I was tagged right on the end, and I was also adopted, so I was adopted at the end of a large family. Oh, Eva, love you too. Hang in there, honey. You're doing okay. And good work on your dreams. Oh. We may or may not have a secret dream club in my Patreon. That's all I'll say. Oop, I said too much. Epsilon Blue Monad says, I had a couple dozen family members as a kid. Half of them died in the 90s. The other half went their separate ways. It's just me and my uncle now. Interesting. Gloria Miller says, are you a hermaphrodite? I don't understand. No, I am not. That's weird. I don't know how to answer. I've never been asked that. That's very odd. And yeah, I believe that the proper term is intersex. Gloria Miller says, I don't follow the dictates of Newspeak. I don't know what Newspeak is. So, oh, hello, Kalue. How are you doing this evening? It's good to see you. Let's be kind to newcomers. Absolutely. Let's see. Hermaphrodite. Oh, yes. If we're referring to my genitalia, I would respectfully ask that we don't discuss my genitals. Don't really feel comfortable about that. But thank you. Yeah, the difference between hermaphrodite and intersex, this isn't necessarily quote unquote newspeak. It's just simply information. Urogenital ambiguity? I don't. So anyways, does anybody have any more questions about how to deal with difficult family members? Does anybody have any personal questions or personal scenarios they would like to share? Eve, that was actually a really good question, and I just want to commend you on your bravery for bringing up, the issues you're having with your father. I know it's very difficult to deal with problematic family members, and I've got a lot of experience with different aspects of alcoholism as well, and it's no joke, and it's nothing to jest about, and it's nothing to take lightly. So I really commend you on your bravery for sharing your situation with us this evening. Thank you so much. And just so you guys know, I have this giant loppy lump that I made that is still available. We got giant snowball loppy lumps coming out this season, and we still have the jack-o'-lumps available as well. Oh, Katrina, that's a very good question. How do I break it to my sister that I'm Hyperion? We both were brought up Presbyterian. How do you break it to your family that you're Hyperion? Right. Let's see. How do you break it to your family that you're Hyperion? If your family, and I know you're saying your family is Presbyterian, but let's make this open to like multiple people. How do you break it to your family that you're Hyperion when your family's super religious? Well, there's, I think, a few different ways you can go about it. Me personally, I'm the personality type that likes to just come out with it, out into the open. I like to just sit down and punch it in the face, and I like to say, I need to tell you something. I am Hyperion, and that means this. It means I don't ascribe to an external creator god. It means I don't ascribe to any sort of mainstream religion. It means that I invest myself in logic and reason. I think it's important to maybe work on what you want to like say specifically. If you want to go to the approach of just like laying it on as is, or you can kind of let the opportunity come up. So if your family starts to talk about, or your sister starts to talk about certain incidences or things in life, like, oh, I had this experience and I said a prayer, and because I said a prayer, this happened, and then you can sort of slide it in there like, oh, prayer is a very interesting topic. Here's what I learned about prayer as a Hyperion, and just kind of like slip it in that way. So you can slip it in easy. Sorry, I saw Cicero say genitals, and it's so appropriate. Let's not talk about genitals, please. Yeah, we're not trying to have a discussion about genitals, especially mine. Oh, hello, the Abraxian. The Abraxian way. We are discussing, I'm having everyone ask me specific questions about how to deal with family in this time of year when you're Hyperion. And so far we've had a couple of very good questions. So I would love it. I would love to keep this going. We had two very good questions. We had a lovely discussion about Britney Spears earlier. Britney Spears is finally free. Thank Abraxas. Thank Abraxas. Britney is free. Britney Jean is free. Praise Abraxas. We're not actually praising a deity. I like to substitute religious language with Hyperion language, which usually is Abraxas. Abraxian. The absolute. Gloria, I'm not sure what you're discussing. We're actually on topic with something else. So perhaps you would like to join us in our discussion about dealing with problematic family members during this time of year. Or we've had other conversations brought up too. Let me check the Discord, because I believe somebody wanted to talk about fear, and then the mirror self. Yeah, we're definitely not talking about genitals. Fear. Okay, everybody, share with me a fear you have. What is this is such a, because it could be anything, right? Like, so what do you fear the most? What's your biggest fear? Tell Johnny John. Oh, Zach says, let's talk about the next Faith Kills project, my friend. Oof. I need to think about that. I kind of fell out of it, but... Ooh, the fear of rejection, Tina says. That is a big, juicy fear. And especially because that really ties into shadow and hidden parts of yourself. The fear of rejection. That I know all too well. And what the fear of rejection really reveals secretly is a hidden and deep mistrust of yourself. It is the inability to seek yourself as a source of comfort or guidance. So when you are in fear of losing somebody, what you're really losing in that instance is the manifestation of a part of yourself. So the person that you really admire and adore, they are a sort of manifestation of a part of you, an aspect of you, a personality trait of you that you secretly desire deep inside. So when you're rejected by that, it's very, it gets to you, right? It's like it's being completely denied altogether. I don't... So yeah, when you have a fear of rejection, what you need to do is you need to start building up a trust with yourself. You need to start building a relationship with yourself. You need to write down the traits and the qualities in the person that you're afraid to lose, and see where you can start developing those traits and qualities for yourself. Because I guarantee you, 100%, and this isn't easy, mind you, when you start to cultivate and develop the qualities and the traits and the things that you're attached to in somebody else, when you start to develop those qualities and traits in yourself, and you start to trust yourself and value yourself and your traits and qualities, the fear of losing other people will diminish. It doesn't mean it goes away altogether, but it will diminish. swear I saw a good one earlier. Oh, Katrina says the fear of success. The fear of success, I know all too well. Here's the thing with the fear of success. The whole key of the fear of success is to recognize and to validate that you, for the most part, are used to living in chaos. You're used to living in disparity. You're used to living in a reality tunnel that is unlucky, and things don't go well usually. And so when you get into a position where you actually can gain some success for yourself, it's a scary thought, because when you have something that you succeed in obtaining, what do you do with that? You could lose it. That could bring upon like other opportunities or incidences or things that perhaps you're not prepared for. So the fear of success is really real, because the fear of success, when you succeed at something, you're in a realm of unknowing. That's the unknown. That's the unknown realm, because you're used to being in chaos. You're used to things going wrong. When things are going wrong, when things are shitty, you know what to do. That's the funny part about the fear of success, is the fear of success actually reveals how damn good you are at living in chaos and dwelling in chaos and even perhaps thriving in chaos. Like, you're good at that. You're so good at that you don't know what to do when things go right. So that's good. These are good questions. Very good questions. And just, we still got our giant loppy available. It's pretty much first come, first serve. Whoever can get me the adoption fee, I will ship it to you immediately. Giant purple lop. It's a unicorn ball. The big and snowball sized. The adoption fee for this guy is $60, shipping included. And I am starting an Etsy page officially for Loppy Lumps so that they'll be available to the public. I've had a lot of people ask. Normally, making Loppy Lumps is only available to patrons, but recently I've had so many people ask for that, so if there's the public that wants them, if they're wanted publicly, I'm going to start working on that through an Etsy page. But it's pretty much like made to order, like not made to order. You can order as I make it. I'm not Tyrone. I not seeing any Tyrone. Let me change the chat to maybe live chat. I'm not seeing any trolls. Oh. Oh. Dude, this Tyrone Jackson. What do you say? I feel sorry for this generation. What generation? There's several generations represented throughout this chat. Which generation, Tyrone? You have no moral compass, no purpose, no compunction. Says who? For what? About what? For why? You are pathetic weaklings. Weak things who deny the realities of this mortal world. You possess no real skills. This is ridiculous, Tyrone. I have no idea why you think any of that is relevant. Oh. That's funny. I'm gonna be honest, like, I sell the loppy lumps at a certain equation of how much the materials cost, how much time it takes me to make it and such. So, they're not exactly cheap. They are an experience, though. Thank you so much for visiting Abraxas. I appreciate it. I don't know. I think it's the glasses maybe I have. Moving on. Does anybody have any other questions? Ooh, it's only 7:30, you guys. We're still chill here. With the we can talk. God, I've been dying to talk about the Travis Scott incident. That's another really shocking incident. Yeah, everybody's like, yeah, that's so funny. I had to point that out. Like, this generation, like, what generation? What generation? What generation? Yeah. No, I mean, I get it, you guys. I mean, it's like I'm literally just sewing a pom-pom together with like some felt, but it's what they represent. It's what the feeling and the time I put into it, and just like what I want them to mean to people. So yeah, they're not really sort of like just a commodity that you can have, like a fashionable commodity. Really, it's kind of a, I don't know. It's if it means something to you, I think you should order one. And I have several different yarn colors and things, and I got the stickers and decals. They come in a raffia with a little box and everything. Like, I put a lot of time into the packaging, into the meaning, and I personalize every one. By the way, it looks like we're kind of having some people come in with some interesting opinions. I don't like to rake anybody over the coals, but I will address if somebody's kind of coming in here and, saying some things. I'll definitely say something back. We're definitely not going to let anybody steal the show, but unless somebody really starts being disrespectful, I don't like the mentality of getting rid of people right away, because sometimes people might listen. I've had incidences before where some people just kind of stick around and listen and change their tune. Yes, loppy lumps absolutely do mean unity, because when I make these, I make them in mind with, you know, if everybody has a loppy lump and they look at it and they hold it, they're kind of connected to everybody else who has one and who is Hyperion and is, you know, really looking towards a more rational future. Yeah, so like this Yoko character. Yeah, it's just this doesn't bother me very much, because like these people like this Yukio character, they're just like throwing out the default phrases that they think like they can get. It's so funny. It's like, well, you saw somebody with glasses and like short hair, and now you're like, oh, I'm gonna say the default phrases like, you damn commie. Yeah, the loppy lumps are great. I love that. I love people like Yukio, because they're like, you're against society, but yet you live in it. Interesting. You're against a capitalistic society, but yet you have to thrive in it. Interesting. Well, yeah, of course. I have to eat. I have to put a roof over my head. It's so hilarious. Yeah, look at them. What's with the how do you do that, like, bold text? That's actually really cool. Oh yeah, I mean, and I still do Loppy Lump giveaways to my patrons. If you're a patron for long enough, you definitely get to order a free Loppy Lump. Interesting. I know, I want to be an anime villain so bad. You know, I really loved our conversations about fear. Does anybody else have a fear to throw out? You know who should be more generous and donate? The rich elite. They shouldn't degrade themselves by being a capitalist. I don't think I've ever had this many trolls in my life. Hey Pulla, it wouldn't hurt you to limit yourself to just one post a day instead of 10. What's going on is we're getting popular. That's it. They're just jealous. I am generous. Oh, Cassie, you asked something earlier, didn't you? Cassie, did you ask something earlier? Let me scroll up. Oh. Cicero says, my fear of not being able to control where I am or what I do. Here's the interesting part about this kind of fear. Because as Hyperions, we really want so much for everybody to recognize that they are, in a sense, a dream shaper, a dream maker, a wave shaper, a world maker, a world shaker. Like, you do have a lot of control, more so than you think you do, but it doesn't always manifest itself immediately right away. Because too often when we become Hyperion and we learn the concepts of like, oh, we're dream shapers, we're dream makers, it automatically brings to mind something like superhero powers, right? Oh, I can walk through walls, I can like manifest a ball of light, all that stuff. But that's not necessarily it. I think a lot of people and a lot of Hyperions are going to have to come to terms with, and I don't mean to sound discouraging with this, realistically, you're just not going to see so much in this lifetime. Like, we're not all going to suddenly sprout Superman powers within this lifetime. Like, we're not just gonna grab our pitchforks, storm the castle, and then, like, suddenly we're a free world and we're all flying through walls. However, there is something very profound in people like you, Cicero, who are willing to take the time with their awareness that they can start to shape or take reign or take hold of their own life and their own reality. That you can actually do that. You can actually take a hold of that. You can actually take a step in that direction. You're not so directionless like previous generations or people previous before you. Or even your previous selves. So I think you should be kind to yourself in that, you know, in accomplishing whatever it is that you can in this lifetime. And not beat yourself up for being the perfect Superman. Ubermensch. Like, we're all striving to be beyond human, but we're not Ubermensch right now. We're not Supermen right now. We're not that right this second, and that's okay, but we're still striving. And it's the striving, it's the concept of striving that is super important here. You're in the journey of becoming. There's so much beauty in the concept of hyperianism and the becoming of things. Yoko is trying so hard. I love it. It's like a bot. It's like this hilarious, like Yoko. What is the other name? I forget already. Yukio? Yukio? Has Halloween been extended this year? It's like, just like, I feel like Yukio is like this, like, humor bot. It's like a joke bot that I've enabled for the chat that just says, like, hilarious things. It's like not even a real person. It's just this weird, like, joke bot stuck on automation. Does anybody else have any more fears? I love this. I love talking about certain fears. I feel like I'm pretty privy to a lot of fears. Ooh. That's a good one. Eve says, I'm afraid of falling back into old patterns of behaviors. And it happens. It happens to the best of us. It happens to me too. The thing about self-improvement and self-actualization is it's not quite so linear like people think it might be. Like, you just constantly progress forward, and you don't, once you accomplish something or have a realization, you never go back. When in reality, you do fall back occasionally in certain cycles. You will have moments where you lapse, you have relapses, you lapse back into old patterns. And what's important is not necessarily preventing those moments. It's how well you remain aware of what's going on and how you're thinking in those moments. So each time those moments happen, you gain more awareness of what's going on. And over time, you're able to navigate through those moments more efficiently with reason, with rational choices, with better ability to decide when and where you shouldn't express emotions, where and how you should actually implement decisions in your life moving forward. I love this. I'm keeping the Yoko Yukio bot. Yoko Yukio bot. Yoko Yukio is a bot. Beep beep boop boop. Beep boop. We love it. We love the Yoko bot. Beep boop beep. It's funny. It just spouts jokes. It's not even real or human. Beep beep boop beep. Hey, the giant Loppy Lump is still available. Is there anybody that wants it? I love the Yoko bot. It's actually really entertaining. You need another Twinkie? Let's see. So yes, the Macy's. What the fuck? Beep beep boop boop. I want a Twinkie too. Dang. All this Twinkie talk. Do we have any more fears, my friends? The fear of change. The fear of change is actually the same as fear of success. The fear of change is like the fear of success in that you're used to a certain state or status of chaos. And it's hard to admit, and I think this is the place that a lot of people need to get to that's very difficult to admit, is that you like drama. That's the shadow. You like drama. You like when drama goes down. You like it when people reject you. You like it when all this terrible stuff happens secretly, and I know that's kind of messed up to say, but if you get to that place in your head, like you admit that you like it because it's normal, because you know what to do with it, because you know where you stand in that environment. And when you have an environment that's loving and nurturing and accepting and puts you forward, that's scary because it's different. And that's going to bring you to a different place. It's going to bring you change. It's going to bring you to places and states and statuses and mental states that you're not used to, that are not going to be that state of chaos. It's not going to be that turbulent state of rejection. It's going to be a state of acceptance and love. And it's going to feel so different and alien and foreign to you that you will reject it and you will hate it and you will push it away and you will blame it on yourself in ways where you're like, oh, I can't change because I'm just, this is the way I am, and I will never change, and this is how my brain works, and this, that, and the other. So it's a weird place. You have to admit that you're addicted to drama. You're addicted to chaos. You're addicted to things going wrong. Because you know what to do when things go wrong. You need to learn what to do when things go right. You need to learn to stay with yourself when things change. Instead of sort of disassociating or distracting yourself. Or doing anything you can do to not be in the moment of change with yourself. Being in that moment where you realize that you're the one that validates yourself and not anything else, nobody else. There's no chosen one. There's no chosen person who's more special above everyone else. We are all destined to get synchronized and be chosen together, because if we all don't have that moment within ourselves, if we all don't realize that as an Abraxian collective, as an absolute, we're the chosen one that way, we're the God, like, we're not gonna start progressing. You gotta realize it's not like there's one monad who's destined to be more special than the rest of us and you suck forever. It's like we all need to get together and we realize that we're all the chosen one together. We are all God. We are all the absolute Abraxas. We are all one. That's really... that's a good question, Katrina. How does one stop sabotaging themselves? You have to start developing an awareness and keeping and maintaining a presence as you go through the feelings of wanting to sabotage yourself. When things are going well, you need to start journaling, first of all. Journal your feelings and thoughts, and it doesn't have to be articulate. You really just need to get out what's going on in your head to paper. That starts putting your brain and exercising parts of your brain into being more cognitive and aware of what's going on within inside yourself. And that's really the game of it all, is you're developing more of an awareness of what's going on inside of yourself so that you can see the steps leading down to the sabotage. And when you start to see the steps slide down, you can start developing enough awareness to reel it back and do something else. It's so hard, especially in areas of relationships. Not self-sabotaging in relationships, and I don't mean like intimate relationships, I mean just genuine like friend relationships or work relationships or anywhere, family relationships. You really have to start developing the relationship with yourself and sitting with yourself. And when you are feeling distraught, and when you are feeling alone, and when you're feeling rejected, and when your inner self is just throwing a temper tantrum because you're just so alone and afraid and then just like rejected and just tormented, like you need to learn to be your own higher self and your parent, because you've got your distraught self, your sabotaging distraught child, your temper tantrum child self. You need to start developing your higher self, your inner parent. Your parent that loves you and wants to nurture you and be kind to you and not beat you up and tell you you're stupid. Like, this higher self is to be kind to you, sit with you, not enable you to be an ass, but to sit with you like a calm, firm, kind parent and let you go through the emotions. Let yourself be upset. Sit there with it. Throw a temper tantrum in the privacy of your own home. Scream into a pillow, like go for a run, lift some weights, punch the cushion of your couch until you can't punch anymore. Express all of the disparity and cry and everything. Do that, but learn to be your own higher self and your own parent and sit with yourself and develop that other parent part of yourself. That's the trick. You gotta be calm, nurturing, rational, sitting with yourself. Gentle hands on the shoulders of your childlike temper tantrum, I'm afraid of change self, and just developing that other voice in your head of, it's okay. We are safe. I am here with you. You gotta tell yourself, I am here for you, as in like I am here for myself. I am here for me. I am here to hold my hand. I am here to be through all the tough times with me. I'm going to sit present instead of disassociating and distracting and going into a trance instead of switching off or turning off. Stay on, stay present with your feelings and your emotions through self-sabotage, through fear of success, fear of change, all of that. Because really what it boils down to is recognizing the shadow that you're used to chaos, you're used to negativity. That's what you're thriving in, but you don't want to thrive in that anymore. That's where you need to develop your own healthy, nurturing inner parent. Higher self. Is that a breadstick, Brie? So, any more questions? Any more questions before I head off? Britstick. By the way, nobody's claimed the Loppy Lump yet. Still ready. Still available. That's a really good question. So Cassie asks, is it worth pursuing a romantic relationship or just hoping if it happens? So first of all, I think it's important to ask yourself and to come to the realization of and really contemplate what relationships mean to you, and more importantly, where did you learn about relationships? Because too often do I think that people are sort of brainwashed and sort of instilled that a romantic relationship is vital for existing, for living, and absolutely, romantic relationships can bring much joy and gifts to the human experience, but I really challenge and question, especially in this sort of like capitalistic age where we're kind of growing up with the Disney movies where they really kind of romanticize relationships to the point where like they really instill within you that if relationships aren't magical and perfect, then they don't work out. When in reality, a romantic relationship or a strong connection is going to take a lot of work and a lot of time between two people and a lot of commitment. So I think what's worth pursuing the most is a relationship with yourself. Because when you pursue the relationship with yourself and you start becoming confident in yourself and exploring yourself and knowing what you can and can't do and really just kind of like being invested in yourself, I feel personally like the romance kind of comes later with finding other people that are interested in pursuing themselves too along with you. I don't personally ascribe to the idea of romantic relationships being like a game of compromise. That just seems terrible to me. And especially in the sense of being a Hyperion, you know, technically, we're all soulmates. Technically, we're all the big Abraxian godlike soulmates. So, there's no rush or reason to occupy, in my opinion, as a Hyperion, your mind with committing yourself to another monad, like a specific one other monad. I think it's important to really develop a relationship with yourself, and I think the love and the romance will follow. So, any other questions? I think I'm going to wrap it up. This has been such a great casual chat, and I thank you all for coming. What do you guys think? You think we should do more casual Monday Monad chats? And Cassie, you're wonderful. You're fucking beautiful and amazing. I'll tell you what, Cassie, you're a dear friend of mine, and I don't like my friends being mistreated. So if you're gonna mistreat my friend Cassie like that, Cassie, if you're gonna mistreat my friend Cassie, fuck you. Stop that. That's what I say to anybody who is mean to themselves. Why be mean to yourself? If I want any of you to go away with a lesson tonight, when I close this chat, I want you all to go to bed tonight with the concept of being nice to yourself. You don't have to love yourself. You don't have to accept yourself, whatever. Just be nice. Just be nice. Just start being nice. That's it. If you're sitting here and you're like, oh, this person doesn't like me. Oh, I must be stupid. Don't do that. Be nice. Be like, oh, I'm okay. I'm gonna go make myself a sandwich. I don't know. Just be nice to yourself. Please, be nice. It all starts with being nice. I think I've said enough. Anyways, thank you so much, my dear monads. Thank you, Bree. Thank you, Kalue. Thank you, Epsilon Blue Monad. Thank you, John. John, be nice to yourself. Cassie, be nice to yourself. Ooh. Bree, be nice to yourself. Kalue, be nice to yourself. Epsilon Blue Monad, be nice to yourself. AZ Shortbus James, be nice to yourself. Eve, you better be nice to yourself or I'll kick your butt. Rabbit Snowflake, be nice to yourself. Or I swear, Tina, you better be nice to yourself. JS Clay, be nice to yourself, or else. All of you, be nice and kind to yourself tonight, or I will kick your booties all up and down this holos. I will mop your floors with this holo. I will mop the holos with your booties. If you all do not be nice to yourself, be nice to yourself inside your head. Think nice things about yourself. Citrina, be nice to yourself. Everybody be nice to yourself. Be nice. And while I have your attention, just so you know, I have the secret Discord, or not secret, I got a Discord community through the Patreon. It's the Patreon is posted in the description below. It's also pinned to the comments. Within our Discord, we got a secret, sacred dream group. And in order to get involved with that, you're gonna have to do some work and digging and find out how to get involved. But let's just say there's a lot going on there. So anyways, thank you so much, everybody. Once again, be fucking nice to yourselves or I'll kick your booties. And good night. Good night, everyone. Have a good weekend, and please look forward to Monday for a new Monday Monad. Take care, everyone.